Hi, this is Vicki with Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome back to our learning session on winter. It's the last week, and in this week, we're going to actually make some gifts and finish off our time together by cooking. This is activity number 12, making a pasta necklace or a key ring. And as it's the holiday time, we thought it'd be nice to give your child the opportunity to make some gifts and to be able to either keep or give them to someone that they like or care about. They're mostly on the receiving end of gifts during holiday seasons, and it's nice for them to be able to appreciate the joy of giving someone else a gift to someone that they care about. So we have provided dyed pasta and string and a key ring to make either a necklace or a key ring or both. We've actually dyed pasta for you, but dyeing pasta is something you could do in your home too. And so I thought we could start with that. When we dyed it, we used a Ziploc bag and added liquid watercoloring, but using materials at home, you would do it in a jar. And in that jar, you would add 2 cups of water and a half a cup of vinegar. The vinegar will actually activate the food coloring. What you want to then do is add 4 or 5 drops of food coloring into the jar so that you get whatever the color that you're looking for is. Then you want to add the pasta to the jar and let it sit for maybe 20 minutes. While the pasta is in the jar, it'll actually be absorbing the color, and you can always check how well it's absorbing the color by pulling a piece of pasta out of the jar, taking a look at it, check the color. If it's not dark enough, give it more time. Now, once the pasta is the color you want to strain it out of the water and let it dry. Put it on a half sheet like this one. It may take up to a half a day to dry. Once it's dry, you're actually ready to make a pasta necklace or keychain. I always start by taking the dyed pasta, at least one of them, and tie them to the end of the piece of string or the elastic cord. This allows the child to actually put the pasta on the string and not have it fall directly to the ground because they haven't made a knot. So you can let them start stringing their masterpiece to be the vision that they imagine, using the different colors and shapes of the pasta that you made or we made, so that they get the look that they're looking for. This is activity number 13. Drawing a picture or making a card is a really great gift, and you could certainly use nature as your inspiration, add a few bibs and bobs, and make it more festive like what we're seeing here. These are just glued on pieces of leaves with some beads on top of them, which I think is really lovely. You can draw a picture and add your own sentiments. For many of our children, they're not writing. So maybe you want to cut a shape and organize them in their own creation. But don't be discouraged by the fact that they're not able to write. But you can certainly ask them what their sentiments are and where they would like you to write the words, and then go ahead and write them down so that whoever receives the card, or even just you remembering, the message arrives together with the creation that they made. Many of them would actually like to write their name. Don't distress if it covers up part of the artwork or doesn't appear in one line. This is like perfectly normal. When we look at kind of the sequence of progress and groupings of how do you get from making marks in the scribble kind of stage, there are many, many steps to be able to get to the point where you can actually write so someone can actually read what you've said. They go through scribbling from left to right and sort of randomly, and then they try to make what they think are letters, and then they could start stringing letters together, understanding that somehow those make expressions of what they want to say. And as they get closer and closer to recognizing specific letters and being able to kind of read with you, they begin to notice that there are spaces between the words, and those then designate a new word. And then finally, they get to the point where they're actually beginning to label things by the beginning sounds as they begin to get that, and then finally they actually can begin to write words that we understand. So again, either help them write, let them write on top of it, and on the back write something, whatever was said, so that whoever the recipient of the card will really enjoy that. Our next activity is actually making picture frames. We provided in your box a paper frame that could be decorated. With all the beautiful artwork that your child produces, we thought you might want to frame it. And what better way to do that than a frame that your child actually decorates? Maybe they want to glue on some little pieces of paper or little stickers on the frame, or maybe they just want to color the frame with a solid color or crayons. Whatever the choice is, the gift is absolutely going to be fabulous and something that you'll remember from this time together as time progresses. This is activity number 15. It's actually inspired by our book Stone Soup, which is about some travelers who, when traveling along, stop at a village because they're hungry and they ask for some food, but nobody will feed them. But they're very clever and they say they're going to make soup with just a stone. And they go, "What? Just a stone? What kind of soup can you make?" The story is great. And in your box, we provided you some ingredients for the beginning of soup. Most soups start with by cutting vegetables, whether they be potatoes, carrots, celery, onions, and then they're sautéed with a little bit of oil and butter until the vegetables are tender, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And then add some seasoning, salt, pepper, anything else that you like. This becomes the base of the soup. Your child should be able to help you in preparing the vegetables, certainly by cleaning them under the water and then by cutting them. I think the best choice for practicing cutting is celery because it's not that hard to cut through like the potatoes and the carrots are going to be. And it can be cut with a regular dinner knife, sharp enough to cut, but not sharp enough to hurt them. And that certainly will keep them busy as you begin to do the other cutting. Next, you're going to actually want to make the broth, and we provided you with some bouillon cubes. Bouillon cubes are just flavoring either beef, chicken, or vegetable broth. You add them to water, and they will make 4 cups of liquid with the bouillon cubes that we're beginning. You want to bring that mixture to a boil, and bring the broth to a boil. Add your vegetables in. And if you're not going to be adding any other vegetables, broccoli, anything else that needs to be cooked, you can actually go ahead and add the pasta that we've provided. Now, my noodles were dry, so when I put them into the liquid, I turned it down so it didn't bubble up so much, so I could actually have my kids add them in so it didn't spray up on them. And then we stirred them in. And waited until they were actually cooked, not crunchy like we wanted to do. I had a little bit of chicken left over, so I added that too. And once it was warmed through, we served the soup. It was a cold day, as it's been for the past couple weeks. And I especially like having soup when I don't feel that well or when it's cold. Adding a little bit of lemon juice kind of brightens it up and I think helps if my nose is running or I have a cough. It seems to make everything feel a lot better. Well, I can't think of a better way to end our winter learning session than with a bowl of soup that you and your little one made. How cool is it that your little and you made a meal for your family together? Our next learning session is on shapes, and we will start after the first week of the year. Hope you and yours have a wonderful new year. I'll see you in 2023.